Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick. I'm not a Krusty Krab.
Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant.
Huh?
Hey, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we are going to be going over another week of big news. This week we've got championship results, we have set reveals, we have a lot of gacha information. So really excited to go through this, whether you're a JP player or a global player, even if most of these segments are primarily catered towards the JP player base. Global players can expect these updates to come probably 2 or 3 months down the line, or maybe even earlier or later. Who knows? We saw the buffs and nerfs come early for global, so we have some changes here that we may expect earlier for global. So anyways, with all that said and done, let's go over the big news, starting with JP. So JP, it is the 10th year anniversary, so we have a huge collage of all the dice event skins, seasonal event skins. Which one is your favorite? Comment down below, let me know. I really like the Suiko one, so that's all you need to know, and let's just keep moving forward. So over the last week, we had the Championship 2020 winter season, and we have our winners. So let's just cover the top 4 player. We have Shira with first place, Seruri with second place, Cross Chaser with third place, and Alphine with fourth place. So bear in mind, I just tossed the Japanese names into a Romanji translator. So if I got these names wrong, I apologize sincerely. I don't know how to read Japanese. Seruri, I think, is a reference to a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but a Cross Chaser is also, I don't think it's a reference, but it's a really cool name. So anyways, let's go into the first player, Shira, first place. For people that haven't seen the actual fights, go check out Different Fights commentary. I think it was a pretty good commentary, or just go back and go to the official Vanguard channel and go watch the live stream as well. That was really exciting. But the 3 lists that Shira brought was Sanctuary of Light with Royal Paladins, Chaos Breaker Dragon with Link Joker, and Reiji with Dark Irregulars. So enough said. Reiji doesn't require Limit Break 4. 3 crit pressure, really strong, especially with the Amon package. Chaos Breaker Dragon still really strong, especially with Colony Maker and Palladium, the pseudo Omega Locker. You have more options hitting numbers with more 7+3s now and 9+3s that we don't have in set 12, especially for global. But right now, as you can see, it's primarily a Starvader core because Chaos Breaker Dragon does want the Starvader synergy, and so does its other pieces. So definitely one thing to consider. Even if you might think that Chaos Breaker Dragon is the only valuable piece, like I've seen Facebook posts where like, oh yeah, just craft your 4 Chaos Breaker Dragon, everything else is pretty bad. Like, no, I definitely do not think so. Like, I think that the pseudo Omega Locker, Colony Maker especially, being able to generate card advantage in a clan that can't really do that when skills just got quote unquote nerfed to be more balanced and is slightly more costly compared to its TCG counterpart. Definitely very important. And lastly, Sanctuary of Light is just a rogue deck. Everyone put it at, like, I've seen Japanese tier lists put it at tier 4, like nobody really cared about it, but it performed. And like before, I said I was really excited before because it just really gives you a lot of aggressive options. Just through the right chain, you just get 2 great 2s, and you see how offensive it can be. It might not really perform well against your traditional Break Ride or Break Ride deck in this era, but against decks like Reiji or against decks like Nova Grapplers that can wombo combo you to death when they just hit 4, but they can't really control aggression really that well themselves earlier on. Sanctuary of Light definitely did, Shira definitely did find a deck that played against the meta, the top picks, and it worked really well. Of course, he had to sack here and there, 6 damage heals here and there, but generally speaking, that's just how it is. You have returning heals, so the odds of hitting these heals are just higher, and that's just how Vanguard is. So, winner, chicken dinner. Next, we have Seruri with Nova Grapplers, OTT, and Dark Irregulars. So Dark Irregulars we covered already. It's pretty similar lists. I think playing more playing more chariots and whatnot. The grade 2 chariot. But OTT still really solid with Tsukiyomi. Here we're seeing we're seeing more of that stand list again. Like in the qualifiers, we saw some crit lists. Now probably stands are more consistent in that sense. Definitely really still a very solid deck. And with Novas, of course, everyone should know the Ashura Blau Ethics deck. Just huge numbers, restand. Odds of hitting that restand is really high as well compared to its TCG counterpart. Playing the Street Bouncers to just rest and draw into your pieces. You have the grade 2 Blau that you know does stuff even if you're not playing the right chain. You have the starter that helps you just search top 3, maybe add a PG or your pieces that you want. Really strong. Can't deny it. It is just what it is. Next we have Cross Chaser. Again, we have the Novas, we have Link Joker and Kagero. Novas this time around, you have the Unflipper, Humpty Dumpty, which is pretty interesting. And we also have Trans Risers. So instead of playing the Blau stuff, you know, you switched out the starter to play the Grade 3 Searcher, so it's more consistent with the combo turn. And you have Trans Riser that just plus and doesn't really minus you of triggers if you just, you know, see a grade 3. And playing 4 of the Dancing and Shout the Shouts, which helps you filter out your non-necessary pieces. So it's more consistent in the combo. The one with Seduri is definitely more aggressive in that sense. Link Joker pretty standard as well. Chaos Breaker Dragon. And then we have Nouveau Vague. There was also another list that played 4 Draconic Overlords instead of the Ends. I definitely am still leaning towards the end variant because, you know, just going into the end early is still really strong. But the Draconic Overlord, though, don't underestimate Draconic Overlord. It's still a really strong unit. Counter must 3, swing 3 times. Still really strong. But this variant just means that your Vanguard is more consistently restanding. You're getting more drive checks, and overall, definitely is a deck that you should consider picking up when Global is moving into set 13 in like 1 or 2 days, depending on when you watch this video. So really tough lineup. And lastly, we have Alfine with Easel, with Gold Paladin, Shadows Revengers, and Nova's Blau, Ashura Blau. Ashura Blau this time around playing more of the Claydol mechanic, the grade 1 Unflipper. Quite interesting, more of the Blau Core as well, and respectively the Blau Starter, and also the grade 3 Unflipper. So that's quite interesting. The list before both played both Break Rides possibilities for Novas, but this one played Muscle Hercules. Is that the name? The Unflipper. But yeah, I think it's just gonna use the pieces more, gonna multi-attack, search your pieces more consistently. Unflip helps you do that, so it's really solid, and definitely still an option. You've seen that with Perfect Riser, now you see it still possible with Ashura Blau. Revengers, the only list that topped with Revengers. It was a popular deck, just only one actually got to top 4, so that's kind of surprising. We still see the 3 Trumpeters, pretty standard list. I think Deathmaster is also pretty standard. I'm seeing it a lot on ladder as well. Just an extra retired target, 11k beater by itself, and Claudus, more consistent retires. Don't think Alfine actually got into the Mordred into Raging Form during the tournament. It was just mainly Raging Form plays. So with all that considered, what that means is, well, what that shows is, well, even when you don't get the Mordred into Raging Form play, you still have pressure, you still have aggression. And if you do lean towards that kind of combo Break Ride turn play, consider playing Goat. And lastly, Easel. Easel is definitely really solid. Knows that Link Joker is definitely really popular, so we gotta go with Easel. Zenith returning heal. Definitely really nice. And it's interesting that he didn't play Plaster Blade Liberator though, but playing more of the 8k on Superior Call, so Soul Charge 1 on Flip 1. And then self-damagers, the new 9k, 7k self-damagers. The extra 1k actually makes a big difference because you're actually hitting 16k numbers by self-damager columns instead of 14k columns. But still playing the old 6k self-damager, which is definitely very helpful. Helps you accelerate your Easel plays earlier on. And yeah, that's basically it. Very interesting. So hope I mean, of course, we have some nerfs because of the results in recent tournaments, which we will cover right after this, but hope that for global players, this is a great source of inspiration. You can see how, roughly speaking, in a few months' time, how the JP meta has been represented through the top 4, what has seen success, and will we see the same situation though? That really depends on when global will get the nerfs that JP did, which we will cover right now. So first of all, we have Prism of the Water, Martoa, basically the Dark Cat clone for Bermuda. This came out all the way back in set 2, but with the new recent duel and Prism support, we are getting a little change with the text from before where it's just on place, all players draw 1, to now when placed, if your opponent's hand has 7 or less, all players draw 1 card. So this change is just made to ensure that you don't get these plays where you mill your opponent and run out of cards. We've seen a lot of clans actually kind of lean into that very recently. If you're a global player, you know Grand Blue, Genesis, these clans all run out of deck really fast, Dark Irregulars even. So definitely don't really want to lean into the deck out as a win con. And that's just how they designed it. Of course, you might say, oh, why isn't this an interesting option, right? Like, why don't they let the player base figure this out or like try it out? I'd say players have experienced or tested or attempted this deck milling Bermuda build where you just keep bouncing the Dark Cat clone and you mill decks. And unfortunately, because of the way that Vanguard 0 is designed with the smaller deck count, they definitely do want to avoid being able to take advantage of this too easily. And this is just, I definitely think this is just to ensure that it's a more fun experience and everyone actually gets to play out their stuff rather than just C cards milled out and then GGWP. So I think that's pretty interesting. Nobody expected this change actually, but definitely a welcome one. Next up, we have Mont Blau Kluger with this change. Before it says just anything on ride, get +10 and the following ability. But now it says if your Vanguard is a Blau, then you get the following ability. So I think that this change, in addition, this change definitely does make it so that you don't get to abuse it with Ashura. You don't get to abuse it with Ashura, and it still works well with the Blau core, which is really important, so you don't ruin the identity of Blaus. But if you are playing Ashura and you still want to go with that, then maybe you have to rely more on ethics now. And with ethics, you only restand the front row, which makes it less volatile. Can I use that word, volatile? Less crazy, but still decently strong. So it's still pretty balanced. But that's just how it is. Mont Blau Kluger, I think that this change actually most people expected with just changing it to Blau only. But yeah, I think it's pretty standard. I think it's pretty fine, and it is just what it is. In addition, we have 2 additional nerfs with Bear Down Samurai and Daredevil Samurai. So this is the grade 1 and grade 2 Ashura core package. So instead of the old text where whenever your unit stands during the battle phase, if your Vanguard is Ashura, it gets +3. It only goes off once per turn now. So this is a huge change because back then you could just restand everything and these columns are like insane. They can hit over whatever defensive your opponent has. But now they only get +3. It's just a, I don't know, it's just a worse golden anglet. I assume, I presume. I definitely do think that they definitely did have to make this change just in case, even with ethics. Ashura ethics is still really strong, but still I feel like with Ashura being able to restand itself, you're still able to do some stuff, and you definitely do want to still play these samurais because it does synergize with Ashura and you need samurais in order to proc Ashura skill. But is it as oppressive as before? Definitely not, and I think it's a positive thing. So I mean, what are your thoughts on these changes? I definitely do think that these changes were made based on what we experienced in the championships. These are healthy changes in my opinion. I felt like the Ashura deck was a bit too oppressive, and maybe you can argue that they didn't need to like nerf 3 cards, but I think it's better to just nail it and just make it happen in one go and just be extra safe rather than nerf one thing and then go like, oops, it's still OP. Let's go back and nerf more stuff later on. It feels weak, and this kind of change definitely makes Bushido and Game Studio feel like more assertive with their decision. With the changes though, there is a compensation. So when you deconstruct the nerf targets, the amount of materials you will get will be compensated. So you get, if it's a triple rare, you just get what it takes to craft the triple rare. If it's an SP, you get what it takes to cost an SP, which is basically more rare and crafting materials. And in addition, you can also, instead of choosing for the match, you can also choose for triple rare guarantee pack. And if you choose the SP one, then you also get the rare mats and the slabs, the crafting mats, in order to basically change it into SP. Of course, you can't really do that, but it is the difference in the materials, so they're compensating you for that. There's no SP pack. So that's basically it for the situation with nerfs. Again, what are your thoughts? I'd be really interested to hear what you think. I know we discussed this previously in other weeks of big news, and generally speaking, a lot of us agree that the Blau break ride does need a change, but never expected the Bermuda to actually get the change. So comment down below, let me know. So with that said, let's move on to another tournament really quickly, and that is the Event Clan tournament. So this actually happened very recently as well, and cover this a little bit quickly on stream. You can only bring Event Clans, and the distribution is 30%, roughly 30% Neo Nectars, 20% Spike Brothers, 20% Mirakumo, 12% of Nubatama, and 12% of others, which includes Grand Blue, Tajikaze, and whatnot. So this is quite interesting because, I mean, a lot of people are very positive about spikes. If you think this is a recency thing, well, Norkumo just got their wave 2, and Nubatama had their event more recently as well. But Neo Nectars is actually pretty surprisingly strong with crit pressure options and just a lot of musketeer support. I think it's definitely a fan favorite as well, just because of the art and whatnot. Is this representative of the actual meta? Like, does this mean that Neo Nectar is the best event clan? Remember that this is a microcosm, right? This is not representative of the actual game because it doesn't include the interactions of these event clans with the non-event clans. So this is something to mind. If you are playing in an event clan tournament though, and it's only event clan, then maybe Neo Nectars is the popular pick. But overall, I still think that, generally speaking, personally, I think that Spikes and Murakumo are probably still the better event clan when competing in the normal meta, in the normal meta game. So that's just my personal thoughts. What are your thoughts on the results? Is this surprising to you? Again, let me know. So with that said, let's jump straight to the set 16 reveals. So to catch up on Diva's Duet, first of all, to begin, Diva's Duet will actually have 2 different banners. So one will include the black arts and one will include the white arts. For Bermuda, so you have the option to roll for the type of art you want. I'm a big fan of this. This means that you don't have to mix necessarily, which I argue gives you a slight competitive disadvantage because now your opponent can count your cards. And I mean, just personal preference, you get to pick the one you want, which is really, really fun. In addition, if you are wondering what will happen to the other 3 clans, well, their distribution will be the same. It's simply just one banner has the black colored Bermuda units and everything else, and one banner has the white colored Bermuda units and everything else. So this is something to consider. If you are just a fan of one art, then you can prepare. You can be happy about that. You don't have to just hoard crafting materials. And if you're a fan of both, then, well, you gotta work your way through 2 different banners, unfortunately. Next up, we have the Deck Build Volume 3 banner. So this is basically it's the revival medals. And how it works is that it includes the three clans. It includes Aquaforce, DP, and Pale Moon. And what it includes is, well, for every 50 packs you roll, you get 50 of these. You can trade for an old triple rare. For every 15, you can trade for an old double rare. So this is really, I mean, this is the trend. No more SP medals. This is the revival medal meta. And I think this is a positive thing because you do have a lot of old units that if you're a new player, you will find really difficult to play current decks without the old units. Like, how can you play Reverse Maelstrom without like Glory or normal Maelstrom or Diamantes and stuff? How can you play Venus Luquier without Luquier stuff with Silverthorn stuff? How can you play Great Daikaiser without Daikaiser, right? So I think generally speaking, this is a pretty good way of reintroducing old units without having old or like legacy banners really flooding the gates. 50 and 15 for exchange is really good as well. It definitely does mean that, well, if you are missing stuff from the past sets, you can definitely wait for these revival medals and instead save those mats for the new stuff. So that is something to consider if you're a global player. Save your mats. It might mean that you may not be able to play with like, you know, old stuff or like more recent stuff in global right now, but what it means is that, well, if you're going to roll for future stuff anyways, like for example, if you're going to roll for Maelstrom Reverse anyways, well, and you're still missing one Maelstrom, you could save that mat for Maelstrom Reverse and just roll 50 and guarantee yourself a Maelstrom as well. And that's just generally something that we can consider as a strategy. On with the reveals, we actually have quite a ton of reveals for this week that we have to go through. So first of all, with Bermuda, Dual Stage Storm Eerie. So this is grade 3, 11k triple rare. Vanguard Circle Limber Break 4, so Blast 1 and Persona Blast itself. To return a dual rearguard to your hand, add 2 cards with the same name as that unit from your deck to your hand. In addition, the Vanguard Circle, when this attacks a Vanguard, discard 2 duels and get +5/+1 crit. 2 duels with the same name. And lastly, Vanguard Circle counterblast 2 to get +5. So this card fetches for its own cost through Persona Blast. You could even fetch for PGs if you want that defensive play. And also, well, you know, you can discard 2 copies of the same name and get +5/+1 crit. Crit pressure is always nice, so definitely a really fun card to play. We have Dual Mini Heart Rone. 9k rearguard circle, when this attack hits a Vanguard, +1 to return one of your other dual rearguards to your hand and add a card with the same name as that unit from your deck to your hand. So again, this is, you know, like most obvious synergy was with Perfect Guards, Prism Dual Aria, so it's just a Sentinel and Neo Sentinel. So I mean, both cards just pick up copies of whatever you bounced. Really nice. I mean, whether that's offensive pieces or defensive pieces, what that means is you can fulfill the costs for these dual skills, which is really solid. Next up, we have DP reveals. Super Dimension Robo Dyad. So this is a Limber Break 4, 11k grade 3, Limber Break 4. Put a Dimension Robo rearguard into your soul to ride a grade 3 Dimension Robo card from your deck, and that unit gets +5 until end of turn. Then return a grade 3 from your drop zone to your deck. So some people might think it's a wash, but what that means is because grade 3s have different triggers allocated to them, what that means is you can basically minus yourself with, you know, a draw trigger or something and put a heal trigger from your drop zone back to the deck. In addition, one thing that you need to consider is that the grade 3, right, from the rearguard circle was already supposed to be a dead grade 3 anyways, so you're not really losing anything, you're actually making use of it and you're just returning a trigger, whatever it may be. And in addition, Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if it's 15k power or more, before attacking it gets +1 crit until end of battle. So just proccing itself, being able to hit 16 before attacking, returning a grade 3 to your deck, get a crit for essentially the cost of Soul Charge 1 is really nice. Dimension Robo Die Barret, double rare, grade 2, 9k, rearguard circle, put this into your soul to have your Vanguard get +4 until end of turn. In addition, in the soul, if your Vanguard is a Dimension Robo, +1, put this into your drop zone to have your Vanguard get the following skill. Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks, hits the Vanguard, retire one of your opponent's rearguards. So this card's quite interesting. I think it's a flexible option. I don't know if you really want to actively put grade 2s into your soul, but you know, it works by itself. You can toss it into your soul, give your Vanguard power, and then toss it out to actually get an on-hit skill. In addition, it does synergize with Old Starter, where you just suck 4 Dimension Robos into your soul to superior ride, so it's really nice like that. And of course, we have Ultimate Dimension Robo Great Daikaiser. This is the hype. Triple rare, Limber Break 4, when this unit attacks, counterblast 2 to draw a card, and this gets drive +1 until end of turn. So great synergy with the Daikaiser Break Ride. You get to drive check 1 more time, which increases your odds of shield breaking. In addition, Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks, if its power is 15k or greater before attacking, countercharge 1, and definitely really helpful to actually spam your skills. And lastly, it's a cross ride with Die Kaiser +2 if Die Kaiser is in your soul. He brought friends as well. Super Dimension Robo Shadow Kaiser. Vanguard Circle, Limber by 4. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gets +5 until end of battle. And in addition, Rearguard Circle, which is its primary use. If your Vanguard is a Super Dimension Robo Die Kaiser, put this unit into your soul to ride Ultimate Dimension Robo Great Die Kaiser from your deck, then return a grade 3 from your drop zone to your deck. So again, we see a lot of returning grade 3s from your drop zone to your deck, which is really, really solid. And this card basically helps you make your break ride more consistent, very, very threatening, and a really nice grade 3 option. And lastly, we have Dimension Robo Kaiser Grader. Grade 1 7k Rearguard Circle. If your Vanguard is Dimension Robo Kaiser, put this unit into your soul to ride Super Dimension Robo Die Kaiser from your deck. So we have cards that, you know, help you go into Die Kaiser, and then we have cards that help you go into Great Die Kaiser. What can you ask for? You can't really ask for more. It's just really, really solid. You have a lot of options as well, which makes it really, really fun. Whether you are a Dayusha fan or a Die Kaiser fan, I definitely do think that some are splashable. Mainly Die Kaiser support, but definitely all I can say is really hype. And yeah. Next up, we have some Silverthorn stuff. Are you all hyped for Silverthorn? I definitely am. To start with, we have the new starter, Silverthorn, Beast Tamer, and Meal. Grade 0, 5k. Rearguard Circle, put this into your soul to check top 5 and put up to 1 grade 1 to 3 Silverthorn card each into your soul. So if you have played Lukie or if you know about Venus Lukie, this card definitely does help you just basically set up your entire Lukie play. We have Silverthorn Assistant Zelma, triple rare, grade 1 7k. Basically works like a purple Trapezis, but for Silverthorn only. When placed in Rearguard Circle, if your Vanguard is a Silverthorn, put one of your other Silverthorn into your soul to call a Silverthorn other than Zelma from your soul. We all know how purple Trapezis is really great, that we all should recognize how great Zelma is. And lastly, the queen of the show, Silverthorn Dragon Empress, Venus Lukie. Vanguard Circle, Liberate 4 once per turn, counterblast 2, check top 2, put up to 2 Silverthorn cards into your soul, call any number of Silverthorns with the sum of their grades being 6 or less from your soul. So this is basically just a stronger Lukie turn. In addition, Vanguard Circle, when your Rearguard is placed from your soul, this unit gets +5 until end of turn, and it's cross-ride with the OG Lukie. So I definitely think that Lukie build just got another really great option. The good thing about this Lukie, Venus Lukie, is that when you use the skill, you actually get to basically put 2 into your soul. You get to tutor for 2. And you get to call more units compared to the original Lukie. The grade sum is at 6 now, 6 or less now. So that's really nice. I definitely do think that, well, this card feels a bit less a bit more underwhelming compared to its TCG counterpart because, well, base Lukie went from counterblast 3 to counterblast 2, and Venus Lukie is still counterblast 2, I believe. So we have to see how great that really is, but overall, I mean, I'm really excited to it. Just an extra option to actually pull this off, and just being more consistent is really, really cool. So that is just a really great option. And in addition, we have Lukie as a record word, which we'll cover right after, which is really exciting, and definitely might make Pale Moon see more play in the upcoming season. Next, we have Maelstrom with the Maelstrom reverse reveals. So Blue Storm, Karma Dragon, Maelstrom reverse. Vanguard Circle, Limber Break 4 once per turn. Lock a rearguard to get the following ability. Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks, if it's the 4th battle or more, it gets +5/+1 crit. And at the end of battle, draw a card, retire one of your opponent's rearguards. So this card definitely got buffed. Before it was you get the crit, and if you don't hit, then you draw one and retire one. So definitely this just becomes like a merger between Maelstrom and Glory Maelstrom, which is quite fitting. Since Glory was, just basically Aquaforce with some Void Power, and I definitely do think the buff into Lock 1 instead of Lock 2 very, very helpful. In addition, Vanguard Circle, when this attacks, the Vanguard gets +3, so it hits numbers, and it is a cross-ride after all. So definitely really strong. Next, we have Blue Storm, Marine General Demetrius. So this is the break ride, alternate break ride for Aquaforce. Limber Break 4, when noted upon count +1, get +10. And the following ability, Vanguard Circle, on attack, if it's the 4th battle or more, draw 2 cards and retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So definitely really nice as well. And Vanguard Circle, when this attacks +3. So Transcore is still really strong. It is more of a win game kind of skill, while Demetrius is more of a grindy kind of option, getting rid of your opponent's pieces. I think both are pretty valuable, but in the reverse build, you probably might not even play the Break Ride. Maybe just play a pure Maelstrom core and play self-damagers, and I think it's still really, really solid. So nothing much here. And we have Blue Storm Cadet Mario's Rearguard Circle. When the attack of this unit boosted hits the Vanguard, if it's the 3rd battle or more, check top 5, add 1 Maelstrom to your hand, and add the same card as that card from outside your deck to your deck. So what that means is you're no longer, just adding triggers into your hand. You actually get to, add it to your hand and then replenish your deck with the same copy. Really solid. Unfortunately, the limitation is that you need to be 3rd attack or more, and you need to check top 5 in order to actually activate it. I still am I'm thinking about should you use Eric, the Grade 3 Searcher, or Mario's. I think you definitely need to test it. Good thing about Eric is that you can use it on turn 2. Generally speaking, your opponent won't damage deny you, and if they do, it's to your advantage. Mario's does mean that you need to commit early in order to actually get that plus. So we'll have to see, and it also really depends on the Grade 3 lineup that Maelstrom players will bring, because some people are thinking 40 Amantes, some people might think 12 Maelstroms instead. So if you're playing 12 Maelstroms, definitely Mario's is more valuable because it's more consistent, but if you're not playing 12 Maelstroms, Mario's is definitely less consistent and may not warrant the play. So this is something that requires testing. Is really interesting to see how it turns out. Next up, we have some news with the tournament coupons. So for this month, we will be getting the Platinum Easel and Blaster Blade Liberator back into the shop. So if you wanted to play Easel or if you wanted to play Liberators, definitely do pick these up if you haven't already. In addition, as usual, we will get those ranked sleeves as well as the ranked reward in the exchange as well. So something interesting to consider right now is that because of the new crafting policy, if you are missing your 4th copy, you definitely can consider just picking this up and then disenchanting your normal gacha copy. So having these units gradually come into the V tournament shop not only serves the purpose of letting you pick these copies up, but also serves the option of trading these V coupons for essentially crafting materials, if you want to think about it that way. Next up, we had the birthday gacha for Chris and Great Nature. So if you're a SIT genius, definitely should have done that. Triple rare guaranteed pack as usual at the end of the month. This is pretty standard. We have the 10th anniversary that we covered last week, and there was the login bonus, so hope you all picked that up. Really cool sleeves and really cool icons. And lastly, for the rank reward for this month, it will be Lukie. And honestly, I have to say I'm a huge fan of this new art. Very, very cool. In addition, we have the Blue Storm Karma Dragon Maelstrom Reverse and Venus Lukie as the sleeves. So get hyped for this season. Even if you were a Pale Moon player and you had your Lukies already, definitely think about this as just getting more mats, right? Getting more mats. If you get to Legend 40, Legend 50, that's already another 120 Pale Moon mats that you can use in the future, and also arguably better aesthetics. So that is just my take on everything JP. And now let's go into Global. All right, let's go to Global. First of all, the Miko event will be coming to a close on the 27th, which is the date that I upload this video. Just to remind everyone, please don't panic. Each of the rewards will be distributed at a later date after the event period has ended. So got a few messages, just so you know, you will get everything. You don't need to manually exchange for them. They will just go to your gift box. And maybe you have to wait for a few days because that's exactly what happened with JP2. Please be patient. You will get those Miko waifus right into your account very, very soon. So get hyped for that. We also had the Great Nature Chris birthday gacha for Global. So it's the same idea. You change for the title, you change for the icon. But, you know, obviously the contents are slightly different because we didn't get the Leopold reverse stuff yet, and we will see those in a few days. So that's really exciting. The Vanguard Zero Circuit will officially begin with the qualifiers starting with next rank season. I will be streaming my run, so get hyped for that. Go remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you know whenever I'm streaming. And I don't know how interactive I will be, but you will definitely see me play a lot next season. So get hyped for that. Next up, we have a gacha update. Of course, this is set 13 Divine Dragon progression, including Grade 4s after the maintenance. So we are seeing the introduction of Grade 4s as they said. Definitely go check out the set 13 overview. We are 2 days away, so if you are still missing anything, any considerations or any information, go check that out. Of course, we have more confirmation, such as we are having a global exclusive Experience Grade 4 campaign. So this is going on the first week of March. Quite exciting. This is global exclusive again. I've allegedly heard that this was only going to be a rental period where you will be able to rent out these Grade 4s. So I mean, I wasn't planning to roll for Exculpate or something, but if it's free, well, definitely go give it a shot. I think it's really exciting to play. Next up, we have a gacha update. So if you checked out the set 13 overview, you will know that JP had the anniversary and Global did not. Well, instead, Global will be getting the deck support gacha, which is basically the revival medals. So if you just watched the last 10 or 15 minutes of this video, you will know that it basically works as in you trade 50 medals for a triple rare, old triple rare, or 15 for an old double rare. It's really exciting. At least we can guarantee that we will be able to exchange these medals for Reiji and Fromage from Dr. Regulars and OTT. Sometimes the content doesn't include all the clans, so this is something to consider, but generally speaking, it's still better than nothing, and really exciting to see this new trend to help players pick up old stuff that they might have missed out on. For the rank fight update, we will be getting Nuns and Guns, Tunics and Machine Guns season with the alt art Fromage from the TCG set, and we will be getting Parfait and Nouveau Vague as the sleeves. And lastly, we have the new calendar for the month, which is surprising. Usually we get it on the beginning of the month, but we will be seeing that we have the Experience Grade 4 campaign. But other than that stuff, we also have the Jingle Bell Jamboree event in the first 2 weeks of the month, and we will also have the Nubatama Return of the Ninja Master event starting from the second half of the month. So get hyped for that, and really exciting. Lastly, just to recap again, this is a lot of the set 13 stuff I have tried to cover in the set 13 overview, which clans are present. If you don't really recognize them from the poster, well, it's Dark Irregulars, Pale Moon, Kaiguro, Royal Paladins, OTT, Oracle Think Tank, and Great Nature, just for reference. If you want to know what kind of cards, generally speaking, are impactful and will see play, go check that out. And what kind of events will be there too, whether that's the Nubatama event or whatnot. The Jingle Bell Jamboree is, according to Kairos Darkblade, one of the major contributors in the community, is going to be the Christmas 2020 event that JP had. So that is definitely something to hype for, because those DI and Pale Moon skins are really nice. And that is basically all for this week's big news. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down below which part is your favorite, so I know how to cater this segment better to the audience. Traditionally, I kind of focus a lot on the JP news because, well, if you go back and watch it as a global player, you will still see value. But I'm trying to lean more into the global side more as well, because most of my viewer base are global players after all. I'm also trying to focus on bringing your attention to my thoughts of what is up and what is going on, my considerations, what my strategy is moving into the future, why I think certain things are good, why I think certain things are bad. So I'm not just trying to reiterate what is going on. I'm really trying to just give you my thoughts, and I hope that is valuable. If not, if you want me to be more objective, just state the facts, let me know as well. And lastly, of course, if you enjoy the meme, go let me know that as well. And let me know if you want me to cater more memes on the JP side or the global side, because sometimes I flip around, I just see whatever I want to do, and I just do it. But if you have a preference, let me know, and it really helps maintain the quality of the content and the channel as well. So with that said, thank you all so much. Like the video if you enjoyed it so far, subscribe again, so you stay tuned to more content to come, and I can't wait to see you next week for another week of big news and some streams coming very soon. So that is it, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!